If you go to the White House website right now, if you go to whitehouse.gov, you will find a whole section there designed to give you, as an individual citizen, the opportunity to quite literally petition your government. It's petitions.whitehouse.gov. The idea is that any citizen can start a petition about any issue, and if you reach a certain threshold in terms of the numbers of signatures, then the White House will respond to your petition. In September of last year, this petition popped up on this White House website. It says, quote, "We petition the Obama administration to protect coal ash recycling by promptly enacting disposal regulations that do not designate coal ash as hazardous waste." Okay. If you've even heard of coal ash before, it's probably because you remember these pictures. This was the devastating result of an epic coal ash spill that took place in eastern Tennessee back in 2008. More than 1 billion gallons of sludge buried entire neighborhoods after a coal ash retaining pond there gave way. It was the largest environmental disaster of its kind in U.S. history. Sometime in the wake of that, the EPA proposed a rule to classify coal ash as hazardous waste. It contains stuff like lead and arsenic and mercury, so yeah. But now this petition has popped up on the White House website that says, no. Don't classify coal ash as hazardous waste. That petition racked up more than 5,000 signatures in 30 days. 5,000 signatures in support of coal ash. And by meeting that threshold, it earned an official response from the White House. It got a response from somebody in the EPA's Office of Solid Waste and Emergency Response. So if you're sitting in the White House or at the EPA, maybe you're thinking, wow, look at all that grassroots, regular folks, man on the street support for coal ash out there. Maybe we ought to rethink this policy. In the unlikely event that you are sitting in the White House thinking that, you have massively underestimated the coal industry. Because as it turns out, page after page of that petition looks something like this. Notice anything weird about that? Hundreds of signatures written in Chinese characters, many of which list Aurora, Colorado as their hometown. Now, are there hundreds of Chinese-speaking residents living in Aurora, Colorado who are supporters of the coal ash industry? Perhaps. But if there are, they are Chinese people living in Aurora, Colorado, who apparently have names like Steamed Bun and Most Handsome Guy and China Donkey. A nonpartisan group called the Environmental Integrity Project spotted all of these suspicious signatures. They hired a Mandarin-speaking translator, and they discovered that lots of these purported coal ash supporters had names like Steamed Bun Older Sister, Steamed Bun Little Sister, Small Steamed Bun, Big Steamed Bun, Come to China Big, Come to China Cat, Come to China China, and Come to China Donkey. And maybe there is somebody named Come to China Donkey from Aurora, Colorado, who just happens to be a vigorous supporter of the coal ash industry. But maybe not. It should be noted here that until very recently, the American Coal Ash Association, the lobbying group for coal ash, was headquartered in Aurora, Colorado, which is where all these people named after specific sizes of Chinese buns claim to live. It is an executive at the coal ash lobbying group who runs this supposedly grassroots concerned citizens group that put up the petition on the White House website. After Think Progress reported on this fishy steamed bun petition last week and Mother Jones reported on it today, we reached out to the American Coal Ash Association official to ask what's going on here with his group in this petition. He told us, quote, "I have no idea how the Chinese signatures made their way onto the White House website. For all I know, some environmental group wanted to embarrass us, could have done it as a prank." Ah, yes, blame the environmentalists. The coal industry has a history of doing stuff sort of like this, making it look like there is widespread support for their cause when there really does not seem to be. You may remember back in May when the coal industry was reportedly paying people to pretend they were pro-coal activists. They paid people $50 each to wear pro-coal t-shirts at public hearings. In 2009, the coal industry launched a new project called Faces of Coal. Remember that? Purporting to be real Americans supporting the coal industry. Those supposedly real people, it turned out, were actually just stock photo people, such as this nice woman working at Flower Shop. The energy industry is now the most profitable industry in the history of industry. They have unimaginable resources at their disposal. And one of the things they do with their resources is that they have a long history of faking grassroots support, of making it seem like there's more support for their policies than there actually is. They have gone to great lengths, not just to influence American policymaking, but to cover up the extent and the means by which they are influencing American policymaking. And in that context, I would like you to meet Harold Hamm. Harold Hamm is the 36th richest man in America. He is an oil billionaire from Oklahoma. And just a month after Harold Hamm donated nearly $1 million to the pro-Mitt Romney super PAC for this election, Harold Hamm was named Mitt Romney's top energy advisor. He is chairman of the Mitt Romney campaign's Energy Policy Advisory Group. Mr. Hamm advocates that the oil and gas industry should keep getting billions of dollars in taxpayer subsidies. While he's also obviously against subsidies going to non-oil and gas energy companies. It is good to know that somebody like that is the top energy advisor to Mitt Romney. But who else, along with Harold Hamm, is advising Mitt Romney on energy policy? We don't know. The Romney campaign will not disclose that. We asked the Romney campaign today who else is on Mr. Romney's Energy Policy Advisory Group, and they told us that they are not releasing those names yet. They said they will sure to keep us posted when they do. Unlike every single presidential nominee of either party over the last decade, Mr. Romney is also refusing to disclose the names of his campaign bundlers, the people who collect millions of dollars each on his behalf across the country. Everybody else has disclosed their bundlers. Mr. Romney will not. Mr. Romney has reportedly raised $100 million in the last month alone. Combine that with the outside groups on the Republican side that aren't disclosing their donors, and it looks like the Obama campaign will probably be right in their warnings to their supporters that this will be the first year in American history that a sitting president will become the first ever incumbent president to be outspent by his challenger. And we won't be allowed to know by whom. Sorry, it's a secret. And if a person named Steamed Bun Older Sister ends up being one of the other top Romney energy advisors, I will join you in collective despair.